Welcome. I am truly glad you are here for another PMP and CAPM certification session. It is an honor to walk this professional path with you. We are officially on Predictive Question 13, focusing on Episode 13, Managing Non-Approval Outcomes and Change Control Protocols. We are continuing our cumulative journey through the rigors of the PMP landscape, and today we face a high-stakes reality. Imagine you are leading a citywide healthcare patient portal launch. Thousands of patients are waiting for this portal to go live, and the countdown clock in the hospital lobby is already ticking. But your chief medical officer, the CMO, pacing the hallway, has just requested a complex biometric pulse integration feature that wasn't in the plan. This brings us to integrated change control, the forensic evaluation that ensures no modification destabilizes the delicate balance of our clinical delivery. Today, we dissect what happens when that quality mindset meets the cold reality of a no from the change control board. We're talking about the administrative integrity, the paper trail that guards the project's life. But how do you maintain that poise when the pressure is on? And mark this clearly in your notes. Many candidates panic when we move into a rejected change request scenario. On the PMP, you must reframe this completely. A rejection processed through the CCB is not a failure. It is the governance framework operating precisely as designed. When you see CCB has decided not to approve, your job is not to fix the rejection. Your job is to execute the administrative protocol that follows it. Think of a professional kitchen with a carefully curated tasting menu. If a guest asks for an off-menu item, the server doesn't just say no, they follow a protocol to ensure the kitchen stays on track and the entire dining room is served on time. Maintaining that track requires a specific administrative sequence, and that is our focus for today. Here's our roadmap. Take a look at these 3 columns. This is your mission briefing for the hospital launch and our roadmap for today's focus. Column A, master the administrative protocol. Essentially, every administrative step required following a change control board decision. Write this down. The change log is the named artifact in the PMBOK framework where all change requests, approved, deferred, and rejected, are formally recorded. Think of the change log as the project's official history book, a document that tracks the life and death of every request. If a question asks what must be updated after a CCB decision, the answer is the change log. It is the official governance record. Column B, refine your stakeholder communication. We'll look at the specific strategies for delivering non-approval outcomes with professional poise. As a project manager, you are the conduit, the insulated wire that delivers the board's verdict, preventing the CMO's pressure from short-circuiting the team. Flag this pattern. The influential stakeholder requesting an out-of-scope feature is one of the PMP exam's most frequently repeated scenario archetypes. The exam is not testing whether you can satisfy the stakeholder, it's testing whether you can, hold the governance line. And column C, protect the baselines. Rejection is the governance mechanism, the structural rebar that keeps our cost and schedule integrity intact within this predictive governance framework. Those 3 lenses, protocol, communication, and baselines, will guide our evaluation of the scenario. Let's look at the situation. That is our roadmap. Now let's step into the pressure of our patient portal deployment. Take a look at question 13. You've established your work breakdown structure, something we, solidified back in video 3, and your scope baseline is locked for the hospital launch. Suddenly, the chief medical officer, the CMO, pacing the hallway with massive organizational authority, requests a new real-time biometric pulse feature. One of the most common classification errors on the CCB questions is confusing the project manager's role with the board's role. The PM performs the impact analysis and submits the request, but the PM does not make the approval decision. The CCB, the Change Control Board, does. The CCB is the formal governance body vested with the sole authority to approve or reject modifications. Holding that boundary is, the difference between governance and overreach. Following the formal protocol we established in video 7, you submitted the request. You knew that adding this would expose sensitive patient data and delay the clinic launch by 3 agonizing months. The board has formally decided not to approve it. The decision is final. The CMO is waiting for your email. But how do you deliver a no when the stakes are this high? Your on-screen text asks the pivotal question: what should you do next? Which of the following represents the correct immediate action for the project manager? Read that question one more time. Correct immediate action. This is about the official protocol. Look at our options grid in these 4 boxes. Flag this. On the PMP, immediate often points to the next procedural step in the framework. If an option jumps to inform stakeholders before update records, it's an out-of-order distractor. Your brain might want to find a workaround for the CMO, and I know that's a natural leadership instinct, but the exam, well, it wants to know if you can hold the law of the project. A. Resubmit. B. Communicate and continue. C. Delay. Or D. Implement anyway. Which one maintains the hospital's integrity? 4 paths. Only one fulfills the administrative duty of the leader. Before I guide you through the forensic analysis, peeling back the layers of these options, I want you to make the call. Choose the right option and write it in the comments section with your rationale. This isn't a social media prompt, it's a professional test. The clock starts now. Let's first look at option A. Resubmit the change request with additional justifications. This sounds diligent, doesn't it? I know it feels proactive, like you're fighting for your stakeholder, but let's look at the cost. Exam tip: resubmission is a carefully engineered distractor. But here's your elimination trigger. If the question does not state that new technical information or changed constraints have emerged, then resubmission is an appeal without grounds. Any attorney who keeps filing the same motion expecting a different result is wasting the court's time. In your case, it costs the hospital valuable administrative energy without any new evidence. Option A is eliminated, a loop of inconsistency. Moving to option C, delay the project until the feature is approved. Imagine a train conductor stopping the entire train because one passenger wants to, change their destination. Would you stop the engine when hundreds of nurses and hospital staff are counting on that arrival? On test day, remember, any option that suggests pausing or delaying a mission-critical project for a non-scoped item is almost always wrong. We maintain momentum according to the approved schedule. Anything else is a tactical error that costs the hospital 3 months of clinical delivery. Option C is out. How about option D? Implement the feature anyway despite the lack of approval. This is gold plating, the practice of silently adding features that weren't in the plan to please a stakeholder. Flag this and link it to the PMI Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct. Implementing a change without CCB approval is a violation of your professional responsibility. Imagine a surgeon adding an extra, unauthorized procedure during an operation. If a complication arises, the entire organization is liable. In our hospital launch, this secret work is a critical governance risk. On the exam, any option describing unauthorized implementation is, wrong by definition. This path is out. Finally, let's examine the mechanics of option B, the conduit protocol. Think of a medical record. Every test result, even the negative ones, must be documented so the history of the case is complete. The procedural sequence for a rejected change request is exact. Step 1, update the changelog to reflect the rejected status. This is your documentation anchor. Step 2, communicate the board's decision and its rationale to the initiator, in this case, the CMO. Step 3, continue execution against the approved baselines. This move focuses on transparency and administrative alignment, making the project room a space of technical truth, not executive silence. We have now analyzed all 4 strategic paths. One of these is the exact move the PMP exam expects of a professional leader. The analysis is complete. Option B, confirmed. As you see highlighted in green on your screen, walking the procedural path of Option B is the definitive move. This is the project manager acting as a professional conduit, ensuring the CCB's decision and their rationale are part of the project's historical record, where any future auditor can trace the logic of this moment. By maintaining this protocol, you prevent unauthorized scope expansion while preserving the integrity of the original technical baselines, ensuring the patient portal launches safely for the thousands who need it. Excellent work if you chose the path of professional governance. Now, let's, distill the 4 principles of rejection management. Look at our recap on the screen. Point 1, changelog. This is your anchor. Every formal decision must be recorded as an historical status update in this artifact. Process group. Write this down. Integrated change control belongs to the monitoring and controlling process group. On the PMP, when a question involves change requests or baseline protection, your mental anchor is monitoring and controlling. Point 2, stakeholder conduit. Be the professional channel, the insulated wire for the board's decision. Point 3, baseline protection. Once a rejection is formalized, the approved scope baseline remains your only authorized North Star. And point 4, governance authority. Upholding the board's decision is, the structural rebar that protects the project's technical and financial integrity. Remember the rule of R: record, report, resume. Record in the log, report to the initiator, and resume the original plan. That is the backbone, the unbreakable skeletal structure of integrated change control. Excellent work today. You've shown that leadership isn't just about managing successes, it's about holding the governance line with the professional poise. After all, isn't that what leadership truly is? Protecting the mission when the pressure to deviate is greatest. Before you close your notes, one cross-topic flag connecting today to episode 12. Remember prevention cost. If the biometric feature reaching the board today had been identified and excluded during early planning, those impact analysis costs would never have been incurred. The exam connects COQ prevention logic to change control outcomes. 4 principles, 1 governance framework, and a decision-making poise that will set you apart. That is what today was about, and I am so proud of your commitment to getting this right. In episode 14, we look at the immediate priorities following formal project authorization, initiating the priority path. I will see you right there.